Yeah. I mean, it's very unfortunate, man. It's frustrating. Put in a lot of work and effort last summer and throughout the year to have a great season. And, I felt like for the most part, that was the case. I had just unfortunate things. I mean, can't predict getting COVID twice. And then you can't predict somebody rolling onto their full body weight rolling onto my foot like that. I mean, it's not stuff that I can control. And so it's very unfortunate. It's frustrating. It sucks to have to watch the game and not be able to be out there and contribute. I think that's, you play basketball and put in all that work so you can be in those moments. So it is what it is. I mean, I'm gonna keep working, and I'll be completely fine from after this. But it definitely is. It's hard. It's a little bit complicated to explain, but um, more than anything, after talking to the doctors and getting different images, it's kind of like a bone chip in there that's kind of fractured, and it's kind of prevented me from healing completely. And um, I think that after talking with the doctors and having, obviously multiple discussions and trying to figure out what it is to do, they felt like the best way to get this thing to heal would be to cast it and basically get off of it, put no body weight on it. So you know, and that will, make it heal. So it's it's I mean, it's definitely more than a sore foot, like you mentioned, but it's also, I don't think it's as big of a deal as you would think when you see a cast. You know what I mean? But it's something that the doctors believe will help this heal. No, it happened with the ankle sprain. I mean, it was a bad ankle sprain. My ankle feels fine now. My ankle's been fine for multiple weeks, but this thing kind of happened because of that. And when you have a grade 3 ankle sprain like that, things, it puts your foot in a position that it shouldn't be, and so other things happen as well. And it's I think it's something that I didn't realize it would be kind of season ending at the time. And I think we worked in here, and I really appreciate the staff here more than anything, and the coaching staff and the medical staff, because we worked every day to try to get it back. And we were ramping it up and tried to play in one game, and just this was the best way for me to get it to heal. So it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. No, I don't know if I came back too early. I mean, I think I was trying to give us everything I had, and we targeted that date and I felt confident enough to go out there and try to play. And after the 16 minutes or whatever it was, my foot was, I mean, I was limping, and my foot was obviously hurting. And it's just one of those things where, after talking to the doctors, this was like the best course of action, kind of to get it to heal. So it's unfortunate, but that's kind of how it was. I don't think it was anything like returning too early. I was just trying to go out there and give what I got. Right, right. Well, firstly, I haven't heard anything, because I don't read or listen to any of that stuff. So if people say it, they can say whatever they want. I work as hard as I can every year to try to prepare myself for the season, and things like this are kind of out of your control, and there's nothing that it's not something I should worry about, because at the end of the day, these things happen to players, and people get injured, and I think it's how you respond from it. And for me, I'm going to respond by having another great summer and being ready for next year. Yeah, I mean, I think just the 2 years that I've been here, we're trending in the right direction. You've seen these guys grow. I think we've grown as a team. Um, JB mentioned in there, 3 years ago they had 20 some wins. Then last year it's 33 wins. This year 43 wins. Like, we're building something here, and I think it's as long as everyone keeps working, because there's obviously not there yet. We saw that last night and last year, and we still have a lot of work to do. But if you build this correctly and keep working, next year we can be even better. I saw that in Utah, it was similar path where we had, I think it was like 20, 25 wins and then 30, then 40. Then my last year there, we had 53 wins or whatever it was. So, we're building this thing.
All right, so that concludes the clips that I'm going to provide you guys. I know that there was more players that were available, but I'm going to go ahead and end it there with Gordon Hayward. I thought that was very interesting to kind of learn about his injury with the ankle sprain, but that eventually led to some foot discomfort and some complications in the foot. He says that the ankle itself is fine, even though it was a grade 3 ankle sprain to begin with, and we saw how many games he missed because of that. And then he tried to ramp up the process to get back, and we mentioned this before on a couple of other previous podcasts that it probably didn't make sense for Gordon Hayward to come back, the last game of the season, the last 2 games of the seasons. Like, there needed to be a target date in which he played 18 minutes here, 20 minutes there, and slowly got himself back up to the upper 20s or wherever the coaching staff and the training staff wanted him to be at as the play-in/playoffs came around. And so I guess when he played that game in Philadelphia, he just really couldn't put a whole lot of pressure on the foot without any kind of discomfort. And the more that they looked into it, they realized that there was some kind of chip in his foot that was not fully healed. And by playing on it more, it was only exacerbating the problem, I assume. So the coaching staff and the doctors especially looked at it and basically said that if you want this thing to heal completely, we've got to put it in a cast, take off any kind of weight on it. But thought that was interesting. And he didn't say that he thought that he was rushed back. I know we speculated about that. I mean, maybe he was rushed back, but I don't think he would have known that until he actually played on the court in a live action situation. And then one other thing, too, I think a question was asked about like potential rumors and his future. And he basically said he didn't read that type of stuff, which I think any athlete that says that, maybe Gordon Hayward is being honest in that. But I can't imagine that stuff hasn't gone by him in some form or fashion, that he's heard that. Now, whether or not he's the one that wants to change his scenery, it's hard to tell from him because he's so even-keeled and he's professional about it. And like I've mentioned before, I've been the biggest supporter of that guy on this podcast, and I love him as a player. I really do. But his contract is hampering this team in terms of allowing them to be flexible, especially if he's not going to be playing 60 games in a season.